welcome to the grind. So, there's been a lot of developments since I've last streamed. Um, we have decided to run a horror show, a horror game, and it's going to be modern horror. And we picked up some old veteran players. Finally got to join us for a while. Um, so this game, it's based on the Unknown Armies 3rd edition system. And of course, I am Felix. It's on the screen. I will be the Raconteur of Despair. Um, what can I say about this game? Firstly, trigger warning. This is a very mature adult game.
No.
If you are triggered by violence, drugs, any heavy adult themes, you may want to be well cautioned before you view this material.
Well, see you guys.
I will eventually have a B-roll of a warning. I just haven't got around to it yet. But let's go ahead and introduce our players and a little bit about their characters. So we are going to start with Ewan, who is played by Mike. Tell us a little bit about yourself, whatever you want to share, and describe your character in no more than 2 sentences.
So is a ex-cop fired from the force, and he really wants everybody to, I guess, believe him, for lack of a better word. He is about a little less than 50 years old, or a little over 50 years old. So,
That's 3 sentences.
That's fine. I just figured I'd throw his age out there. It's fine.
That's fine.
I can stop there.
I want people to get to know your characters a little bit more in detail later. We just want to give them a brief momentary glimpse. So, Damaris Conhair, who is played by Drunken Saint.
Heyo.
Tell us about your character and where people can find you and stream and whatever you want to plug.
I don't really want to plug anything but my character, though. He's a very cynical, half-serious person with kind of a dry sense of humor. And he's very, very much driven for a very sole purpose. I don't really want to give that out yet unless you already have, but...
No, they don't know shit.
Yeah.
Okay. You also do some streaming yourself. Check out his channel, The Drunken Saint. I hear some kind of whisper about some Rocket League Olympics, or what was that?
I just said I don't want to do a plug, and there's a reason behind that.
Okay.
I can't talk about any of that yet.
Surprise teaser.
Fair enough.
And
Like, till everything's signed and figured out, I don't want to jinx it, you know?
no worries. Jonathan Brownstone, played by legendary Boomer. Go ahead and plug
That's
yourself.
me.
Tell everybody about your character.
Alright, so I will shamelessly plug my channel. It is Boomer C4. I play scare games, display heart rate monitor. I have scary sound alerts so you can scare the shit out of me. And I play some first person shooters, but I really thrive on the scary games. Alright, so that's out of the way. My character's name is Jonathan Brownstone. I am a ex-military who now resides outside of the city, running a funeral home, Hershire Crematory and Funeral Services. I also am a collector of uh, antiquities and the strange.
Okay. Nice, nice. And we have Brian, who is playing Grim Vettisbird.
Good job on the pronunciation there, Helix. Good job. Not much to say. Real level, down to earth. Despite my last name, I actually grew up on a farm in Appalachia, and I now work as an EMT. Went through all kinds of craziness in between.
And your character's a big metalhead, am I right?
Oh yes, that's the whole reason behind my last name. In a fit of drunken randomness, when I was playing with a black metal band that was kind of popular, I decided to change my last name to fit in better with the image.
Yeah. So, those are a little bit of our characters, just to give you an idea. What else do we need to announce? This will be streaming every week, and I try to get it to 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. May not always happen, maybe 9. Schedules and whatnot. But we do what we can. And am I missing anything? Unknown Armies. I guess I should explain the last game that I streamed. So what happened with last game is my computer messed up right as there was a critical point in the story, and we basically wrapped things up for now off stream. And there are some reasons behind that. There are parts of the story I don't want to reveal to the public. But if we ever get back to that point, I will recap that accordingly. To anybody who was bothered to keep up with that. So, with that in mind, the players have yet to see the trailer for this new game that I spent like 40 hours making. And we are going to see that now. So, I am going to direct all of the players to go ahead and turn on the Twitch stream volume so you can hear the trailer. I know there might be an echo between your mic and the thing, but when it jumps back, you can mute Twitch and everything will be back to normal. And then we'll get to see everybody's reaction to this game. So does everybody have the stream ready?
Yeah.
Right.
Damn, dude.
That's amazing.
Shit. Awesome.
Well, welcome to the grind.
Right. Saw Lucas in there.
Yeah.
I caught that too. That was slick.
I give it a 20
Out
out
of
of
10.
out of 2.
So, are we pumped?
So pumped.
Yes.
Yeah, but they don't know. But me and Mike know. We know.
All, in fact.
Okay. Need to pull something up real quick here. All right. I guess I'll begin with a little bit of a preface for what this game is going to be. The occult underground is a multifaceted amalgamation of the macabre and twisted perversity that fermentates the sinew of humanity's most desperate desires. This reality is one society chooses to ignore and 4 individuals seek to pursue. In the city of New Athens, a thriving metropolis located around the northeastern region of the United States, its roots originate to the neoclassical period, and its rise and growth today in 2019 rivals that of New York and Los Angeles. And give you all a view of New Athens. This is probably what you would be seeing on any given night. It can be a very beautiful city, also a very deadly city. But I want to give extra emphasis on the word neoclassical, as this city, which is a fictional city that I've created, is parallel to New York. However, this city originated heavily within the thematics of neoclassical. When America was being built, its roots you know how we would see the government buildings in their neoclassical structure. This city was almost evangelical about the aesthetic, um, to the point of naming everything about Greeks and Romans and all their architecture and stuff. Sprawled and evolved with that. Then the city, over the years, became modernized, and you stack a modern New York style city on top of that, and you would get the city of New Athens, filled with all its crime and debauchery and economical struggles. This city has a lot of dark secrets, and many of them often get covered up and erased. But some people manage to sparse out a few whispers and even become part of some of the events that take place and get covered up, and perhaps get a little frustrated. So, with that in mind, we will begin our story. the time of day would be later at night, at the Logos Minerva, which is a very extravagant library. And it is open 24 hours. And there is a particular person who works there. His name is Damaris. And he has had a lot on his mind the past several months and has been struggling with some things. So he's called in a few contacts to maybe help him out with something, and perhaps they would have their own information and interest to bring into the situation. Damaris, he he has the keys to the place. He doesn't own the Logos Minerva, but he has a fairly higher position. He's not at the top, but in terms of structure of employment, he he handles a lot of the day-to-day important parts of the library. And this is a very extravagant library that was, in its construction, attempting to recreate the Library of Alexandria in its vain attempt to put something of significance on the map of America. So, let's begin with Damaris making some phone calls at the library.
Well,
You're muted. What?
mm.
Oh, now you're muted.
Still muted.
I'm not muted now.
Oh, there you go.
Wasn't muted to start.
Oh, I didn't hear you.
All right, so I mean, just on the phone.
You're chopping up a little bit.
For fuck's sake.
Sorry.
Well, I have to pick between you hearing just me or all of my background noise too. So
That sounds perfect. Whatever you just did.
lower the threshold. Said, I mean, do you want me just like talking on the phone to somebody or what?
Who do you want to call for help?
Whoa.
I would see there's 3 people that you should probably call.
Yeah, well, I'm definitely gonna call Ewan,
Okay.
considering
Ewan,
he's helping me.
your phone
Been
rings.
help-
Do you have a special
Look
ringtone?
down. No, not generally. It's always on vibrate.
Okay.
But looking down, I imagine caller ID.
Mhm.
Can see who it is.
Yep.
I answer it. Hello.
Hey, would you this is Damaris.
Yes.
Yeah. So would you mind stopping by sometime tonight if you could? You free at all?
Yeah, I can be. What time are you thinking?
Just whenever you can. I get the library all night. So
Okay, yeah. Give me about an hour and I'll be there.
all right, cool. Hey, you mind calling hell, what was his name? With the funny sounding last name. Has a V.
Brownstone? Oh no, I don't remember.
I think his first name is Grim. Can
Oh,
you go ahead and call him and then I'll get a hold of Jonathan.
yeah. We need to. So is about an hour a good time for? Like, I guess
Yeah,
you
but
said you'll be there all night. I didn't want to set everyone up to be there just because I had to be there then. But yeah, that's fine. I can call them and make sure.
All right, cool. We got a plan then.
All right.
I'll go ahead and call John.
All right.
Click. And then I'm gonna call Jonathan.
Your phone rings. Do you have a special ringtone?
Yeah, my ringtone is Demi Borger.
I love you so hard right now.
Yeah. All right, so I answer the phone. Damaris, my friend.
Hey,
What is
John.
going on?
Oh, not much, man. Could you meet the rest of us here at the library whenever you get a chance? Everyone's just gonna be here in like an hour or so, but I mean, it's really whenever.
Who's the rest of us?
Oh, there's Ewan and Grim coming too. Grim's a metalhead, so I think you'll like.
Mr. Hanover?
Yeah.
I have met Mr. Hanover. I did not know that you were that you knew him.
Oh yeah, we go back a little bit at this point, but
You were
Yeah.
you just know everybody.
yeah, it's kind of my curse to be honest.
Absolutely. What time?
It's like an hour or so, really, if you can swing it. If not, whenever, just let me know.
I can finish up with this body and I can be there. Did you by chance get that interlibrary loan that I've been trying for weeks to get?
I don't know for sure, but we can check when you get here.
Awesome. All right, sounds good, buddy. I will see you in about an hour.
Alrighty, man. I'll see you here in a little bit.
Click.
Then I'm gonna call Grim.
Okay. Grim, your phone rings.
Hey, Ewan, just a second. Hey, do you mind go ahead and taking the vitals on that guy right there? I gotta take his call real quick. Sorry, man. I'm just finishing up my shift at work. What's up?
No problem. Grim, do you think that there's a chance you can meet me and a couple other guys at the library here in probably about an hour?
I don't see why not. Who else gonna be there?
It'll be Mr. Jonathan Brownstone, and I'm not sure if you guys have met, and Damaris from the library itself, which I'm fairly
Oh.
certain you guys have met.
They seem like chill people. Yeah, I'll actually be done here in about a half hour. I just got to drop this patient off at the hospital, and then I'll go ahead and change shirts and head that way.
All right. Well, I'll see you in an hour.
All right, buddy. Later.
Bye. Click.
So, I need. Grim would be the closest. And next to that would be Ewan. And then Jonathan. So, Ewan and Grim, you both need to make one drive check each if you are driving. Jonathan, you need to make 2.
Fuck. Right now?
Yeah.
God.
What are we rolling on these, Helix?
So, your identities at the bottom, 1 of 4. Any of those that would relate to you being able to drive. Also,
I'm pretty sure EMT covers it.
Grim, in particular. I just realized that I needed to fill out your stuff, but we can figure that out at another time. So EMT will cover it. Yes.
Let me tell you.
Click
it's
on the
harder than
button,
you think.
the identity button.
We're all gonna fail. We all can't drive.
Oh man, really?
I failed both mine. I'm a horrible driver.
They do have public transportation. Saying.
But I love my car.
Is everybody obeying the speed limit?
Yeah, I mean, I don't have to drive it fast. You have to roll under, right?
Yep.
Yeah, Grim's on it past.
Looks like I did say no rush, people.
Gotta get there now.
I just realized. Probably helps if I do that. So, That works.
I mean, do you want us to roll again? That way everybody can see it.
Oh, they can see it now. I had to fix roll 20. So, when you make a roll, you need to call out what your numbers are and what you're rolling
Okay.
against.
I had to roll twice. I'm up against 50. My first roll was a 60.
Okay.
So I failed. My second roll was a 57, so I failed again.
Okay.
Mine was a 33 going for a 20, so I also failed.
And
Okay.
I rolled a 17 against a 30.
Okay. All of you had a 20% shift, so you passed.
Oh,
So-
man.
An hour arrives, and what kind of car are you driving, Grim?
Oh, I roll around in a Jeep nowadays. It's sturdy. You can drive it through damn near everything. Although I almost wrecked like twice coming to the library because apparently nobody can drive today.
And you step out of your vehicle. What would the audience see?
Well, they would see me. I just got off work, so I pretty much have just changed shirts. I generally tend to wear some combat boots with some jeans and a metal t-shirt. On this one, particular occasion, I have the Demu Borgare Puritanical and Throne Darkness Triumphant t-shirt on.
I'm surprised you
I
don't have the
have-
Venom shirt on.
Oh, I don't wear that to work. It'll smell like meds and everything else, and it's just nasty. You don't wear concert t-shirts to work, bro.
Fair.
But yeah, got long hair down the center of my back, about 6'2", 6'3", bearded, little chubby, not quite lanky. Look like your standard metalhead walking down the side of the street.
Okay. That is the image that they would see when they look at Grim. So you get there
Hey man,
first.
dyed hair in the city is cold. You got to wear that beanie.
You get there first, and shortly after, Ewan arrives.
I'm driving a 63 Chevy Nova that's black. It's a soft top. Love that car. I have blondish grayish hair. It's going gray, I guess, just probably not too late from. It's messy. Have a silver wristwatch. I'm wearing a black button down with a black undershirt under that, and kind of like a darker gray jeans with black combat boots on. The jacket, kind of a not. I hate saying it's not a trench coat. It's like a shorter version of a trench coat. I don't know what
Pea
those
coat?
jackets are. Thank you. Yes, a pea coat.
And Jonathan.
I roll up in the hearse, trying to kill two birds with one stone. I need to fuel it up for a funeral, so I'm driving it. I pull up and I step out, and I am in a three-piece suit, wearing gloves, a cane, and did we say if it was cold out?
It is the fall, so it's starting to get cold, yeah.
And a long suit jacket, and I proceed to walk into the building. I have a long beard, kind of like do here, and a bald head.
Okay. So, when these three gentlemen walk into the library, well, first of all, do you say is there any conversations when you all arrive at the front of the library?
As soon as I see Mr. Conair, I
You don't see him yet. He's inside. I'm talking
oh
about. I'm talking about
I just
Ewan
look
and
at.
Graham.
Good evening, Mr. Hanover.
Mr. Brownstone. Definitely.
How,
Haven't
how,
heard, sorry.
no, go ahead.
I was going to say, I haven't heard exactly why we've been summoned, but I am honestly relatively excited about it. It's always nice to really dig into things.
I love mysteries, so I'm intrigued. Mr. Grimm, how are you?
Pretty good, I must say. You're looking awfully suave. It's not often you see a hearse pull up, but you see a gent such as yourself crawl out of there.
Well, I'm just trying to gas the old girl up before a funeral.
Ain't
I
nothing
figured
wrong
I'd
with that.
do it on the way home. Shall we, gentlemen?
Let's.
After you, sir.
Before we go inside, Ewan, what is your character thinking and feeling after seeing Jonathan again? Is this the first time you have seen him since that day, or have you been speaking to him since?
I would assume I'd have continued to speak with him because
Okay, I just wanted to make sure.
he has information that, or he says he has information that could help me, or at least further let me figure out what the hell was actually going on, which is.
Okay.
So, question. Because I just thought of it earlier, but I didn't want to interrupt.
Mhm.
Could I have been making coffee in the meantime?
Yeah, we'll get
Like
to that.
I'm gonna make about two or three pots just to make sure we got enough.
So yeah, just describe what your character looks like and what you're doing, what you're wearing on this night, what you're
Oh,
thinking
it's to
and
me now?
feeling. Yes, what they would see
All
in
right.
the library.
So whenever you guys walk in, it's an old ass Victorian style counter, right? Hard dark oak, and you just see this little, well, not really little, I guess 6 foot, semi chubby dude, broad shouldered, barrel chested, and wearing just a black cotton t shirt and baggy black sweatpants with a pair of chucks. Hey guys, glad you guys made it all right.
Well, I'll be damned. Hey, Dan, how you doing, buddy? You got an extra one of them cups of coffee for me? It's awfully cold outside.
Oh hell yeah, I do. I made like 2 or 3 pots in the back here. I'm gonna go
That's excellent.
retrieve those and some cups for everyone.
That's
Bring it out
what's
to one of the
up.
tables sitting out front there.
We'll gladly take coffee.
I drink my
One of the
black.
cupboards, I produce cream and sugar as well.
From where?
Saving the day here. This is from one of the cupboards. In the
I also drink mine black.
y'all are boring. I just started pouring cream and sugar into mine.
Hey, you know I don't take mine black as well. 3 creams and 20 sugars, if you don't mind.
I hand Grim the both containers. I'm like, yeah, here. That's all you, bub.
You know what's up.
I think we're gonna need the cow. So,
I love how the one
why
day
are
he
we
got
all
that
here?
headshot is the
And
one
did
day
my
I didn't wear
interlibrary
a
loan
black
come
shirt.
in?
Actually, can I check the computer to see if his loan has arrived?
Okay.
I did promise him I would check.
Roll your tech wizard.
Cyberpunk is what you have it marked
Yeah,
as, I
yeah.
think.
Sorry, yeah, I
Right?
changed it.
95 versus 25. You think I'd use a librarian for that, but
Oh yeah.
weird.
Sorry. Roll that one.
Oh, you're good. Still an 82 versus a 25. Ain't happening, Chief.
You've seen
I
a
just-
computer before.
Yeah.
Well, maybe
Look,
maybe
I'll
on
be
Monday.
honest. I probably hit the wrong key, but it doesn't look like it's here.
No, it's not.
It's a hard one to find. It's okay.
It's
So-
probably just as social. You probably all
Look, man,
wrong
it's-
digit or something.
It's been like an 11-hour shift, boys. Just give me a break here, all right? Hence
So
the
it's-
coffee as I start sipping on it some more.
So Damaris, talk to us, buddy. What's going on?
All right, now real quick. What is our first objective? Because I missed the 0 session.
Oh, we didn't even
Um,
really.
It doesn't. You don't know because you weren't there.
You
I'm just
you
kidding.
literally weren't there. Like you were in the game, like they passed you, but you weren't part of it. So you were just at work that day.
You'd have to understand how this works. There's no.
rolled
I can't. We can't tell you.
Yeah.
But you
Tell
have
me
some
that direction I'm just gonna sit here, just so you know. So
you have some
Huh?
issues with your uh search for a particular someone and what all of that paranormal stuff entails, and you had the idea to enlist them for maybe starting a little investigative team. Am I right? And
okay.
talking about maybe some murders and
What in the fuck?
catching a killer and whatnot.
Yeah. Look, I just make it 100% that I was gonna be giving them the right directive here. All right, boys. So there's something I want to talk to y'all about. Ewan over here is actually already aware, I do believe, but 'cause that's how we met, or where we met, I should say.
Did you
But-
find out more information?
No, that's kind of the problem. That's why I asked you all here. um.
Adam, check your Facebook.
So I guess those of you who don't know, I'm gonna sound fucking crazy here,
I got
boys.
it.
Just bear with me. Obviously, Ewan here believes me because he was there as well. But so I'm just gonna throw it out there all at once. But I'm pretty sure my sister's possessed, and she's murdering people and possibly kidnapping them as well.
Oh fuck! Not this shit. Man.
Does this tie in with the? So me and Ewan have been kind of talking back and forth about 5 murders that have come up that kind of.
Ewan, you've been testing the waters. Thank God.
I mean-
That's exactly it. Actually, that's where he and I met.
Hmm.
I was looking for my sister, and he was investigating the murder scene,
Why are you
and
shaking your head?
Well,
it was gruesome.
I think we can.
Well, kinda.
We can definitely move into thinking. It's the way
You
that
told me
these
check
murders
Facebook.
are committed.
I did. I'm looking right at it. Maybe you should read it again. Read the first paragraph.
Read further in. There's 2 sets of murders.
I'm getting to that. I'm just saying that we let me do my thing.
Okay.
So wait, those fucked up bodies I've been taking to the morgue here recently is your sister.
Possibly not
It's-
100 on that. That's
What's-
kind of what
I forget.
need
What's
to
your sister's
establish.
name?
Drea.
We don't know it was her. I mean, it's
I know that I did the autopsy, not autopsy. I found wrong with the autopsies on 2 of the bodies that Grim had brought me. Adara Longstead and Jacob Volstein. Did any of those ring a bell? Because
Name wise, no, but I haven't known any of the victims personally. So as far as I know, at least.
um,
Damaris, you
I-
actually never saw the bodies.
Yeah.
got some
So wait,
Charlotte-
we're talking about the bodies with the fucked up shit on the forehead, right, John?
right. So I know, Grim. I haven't talked to you since. I know we kind of spoke when you brought the bodies, and I kind of noticed that offhand, but I think it would best explain if I know I've already went over this with you, Ewan, but let me fill them in. So, and then I pull out of my briefcase my reports. So all the victims, and I'm calling them victims because uh, it almost looked rich, like a ritual, in a way that the way that the bodies were arranged and in the exotic manner that they were dissected. So I'm gonna lay some pictures out, and as I lay the pictures out, I'm gonna go over them. Okay. So as you can see with this one right here, the chest was carved and split open down the middle of the body. The chest cavity was cracked open to display the organs. You see how it's cracked open? The hands here were interlocked. They were interlocked um, into the rib cage as the skin draped over them to hold the ribs open. The jawbone was also sliced in the center of the chin. You see that right there? And hinged open to allow the tongue to drape onto the neck. You see how the tongue is elongated because of that?
Mm-hmm.
Now, I want you to look at the eyes, okay? So on this one, the eyes, as you can see, the eyes were removed and replaced in the throat, looking outwards, like looking at you. The skull right here has the metal symbol melted into the bone of the forehead of what was I later tested to be a solid 3 ounces of platinum. I had to take that to a jeweler friend of mine to have it tested, but he has no idea where I got it. He actually tried to buy it off me, but I have it at the estate. But 3 ounces of platinum. The skull here also has 4 surgical, measured them at half-inch triangles carved into the bone and flipped upwards to protrude from the skull. Alright, we're going to move to the bottom half. So in this picture, you see that the legs were bent 180 degrees and turned 90 degrees inward at the ankle to form a steeple. Prayer, maybe, position. The organs within the body are all arranged out of position of where they should be. Some were surgically cut and sewn back into the locations that do not make sense. That just doesn't make sense. Why would you? That was one thing that through all of this, I mean, you see all the. I hate to say this, but it was almost like an artist did this. I mean, the degrees were perfect. But why would you take them and then replace them back with surgical precision? So I mean, even functioning, I would say that those organs would probably function. It was very surgical. It was prestige.
See, I'm gonna be honest. When I first seen this shit, my first thought was like, John, you're a big metalhead. You know that old movie fucking Danny Filth made back in the day? It was banned over Britain. Cradle of Fear. I thought it was some shit like that. Somebody's just trying to mimic some fucked up black metal horror movie that's been banned in the States. I didn't know all that shit though, dude. That is crazy.
Damaris.
Listen, it was almost like all of this was done like pre-death, and the contradicting factor that I've been debating about is the blood from the report. I mean, it already came, like the coroner's report that I received when I got the body, he had already put in there that the blood had already been drained out entirely upon scene.
Yeah, I was helping him load that on the gurney, dude. It was crazy. He was not playing around about it.
Hold on. Damaris,
Mm-hmm.
I need you to roll your violence or any ID, or I need you to roll your fitness because I'm attacking your violence. If you have any identity that protects or substitutes for fitness, you can roll that.
I don't, but I got a 27 versus a 60.
Okay. You can put a hardened in your violence. You manage to stomach your way through this. However, Ewan, yours is a different story because something is off when he describes this scene. He's describing details that you know were intentionally left out of the coroner's report.
Well, didn't I mean,
It's almost verbatim what was given in the coroner's report, but you know that that night you were there, you saw the body. But the coroner's report, you know, was intentionally doctored of particular details, and those details are some that he was describing.
so Mr. Brownstone, I have a couple of questions for you, if it's okay, if you don't mind.
Sure, go ahead.
Because we went over a little bit of this, I think the first time we spoke too. So the information that you have here, is it okay to say that you didn't get it from the police station, from any place directly that worked on it?
My sources come from. I did receive the coroner's report, but what made me go and gather more information and reach out to more of my sources that weren't directly involved in the autopsy was the fact that the, the time of death listed and the way that the bodies are and the location, they don't match up. There's no way that somebody took that much time in the presentation of these bodies.
Oh, I mean, you're
And
absolutely right.
and for him to put his timestamp on it, it doesn't make sense. The one thing that I did notice, that I thought also connected the two victims so far, and I don't know if this is something that we can go on, but the two things that they had in common besides the deaths were the victims had no known families that I can find, and they also lived alone.
I mean,
But I can tell you that my resources, um, uh, they're like flies on the wall. They're ones that I trust.
I'm not saying you shouldn't by any means. As a matter of fact, you definitely should trust them. And I'm not asking to know who they are, because clearly they have a means to get information. Um, I bring this up because the information that you have is more precise than what some of the people working this investigation had. And I'm not saying the things that were kept out from those people, to do anything other than keep them out of harm's way. It's just interesting that you have that level of information.
Well, I have found that a lot of this was found by myself. I mean, there was a lot that the coroner missed. I don't know how he missed it, but then again,
Missed is
and I'm not.
the
I
right
don't
word.
like to gossip because it does no good. But I have a theory that as long in the tooth as he is, his pockets run deep.
You wouldn't be wrong.
Well, at the same time, Doug over at the fucking hospital, dude. I mean, he goes through so many bodies a day before I break them to you. So before we jump to conspiracy theories, there's always that as
I'm not saying it's not completely possible. It's just one of those more interesting things when it comes to having, again, the level of detail that you have. I do have a question for you, Damaris, though.
Mm-hmm.
Here, um, that symbol. Have you seen that in anything that you've been doing? We're talking about just the metal symbol that's on the forehead. Have you seen that anywhere?
So,
I don't know. Let me take a look.
you need to roll your occult.
Me?
Your
3
identity.
out of 40.
Who?
33 out of 40.
No,
73 out of
73 out of 40
Oh, okay.
This game. Oh, fuck yeah.
was a fail.
You have not. And what have you been thinking about while they're describing these bodies? Keep in mind, Ewan, that this is not the set of murders that is related to Drea. Well, they're
Well, it
related
seems-
via symbol, but in terms of where they were found and where the other information was found about
The
Drea,
method of operation.
that was a separate series of people being murdered. That's information for you. What are you thinking about right now as they're talking about this, Damaris?
That we might have a bigger problem than Drea.
Yeah.
To be completely honest,
What is your
it's just hitting
feeling?
me that kind of doubtful, to be honest, because it seems too easy to just draw that conclusion.
Okay.
But at the same time, it does feel like there's something going on in the background that we're only seeing parts of. And it seems like it's bigger than just what happened to me, and that might all actually, well, at least these two instances might be connected in some way.
Yeah. You start pouring through some books and even do a few online searches for a good 15 minutes, and you get nothing.
I'm gonna take a picture of it with my phone.
So, as Damaris goes to take a picture,
Here's where the fun starts, boys.
damn it.
the picture itself becomes incredibly blurry. but you can get the gist of it.
Oh fuck.
Almost like it pixelates. Only slightly though. Not. It's like you. The rest of the.
I'm gonna hit 3 buttons and send that to that number
Oh.
and be like, "What do you know about this?"
I need you to roll your occult.
My what?
Your occult.
Okay. 80, 40.
You rolled an 80?
Yeah.
There's no response immediately. And
That's fair. Probably taking a shit or something.
you don't get a response right away. So continue what you want to do. You just send it and wait for a response.
I just put my phone back in my pocket, turn back to them, and I'm like, "So, boys, it looks like we've stumbled upon something a little bit bigger than I had anticipated. Undoubtedly, these are connected in some way, shape, or form. But those killings that's not Drea. She's not the clean or methodical type, I should say.
You could say that again. Do you have anything stronger than whiskey? Maybe. I mean, anything stronger than coffee? Maybe whiskey or anything like that. I could.
I'm gonna go walk into the kitchenette real quick, and I'm open the cabinet and pull out a bottle of wild turkey.
Okay.
It's about half empty. There's a single glass sitting on top of it.
While you walk away, does anything happen with the rest of you three?
I look over and I tell the boys I haven't seen that symbol since I was at an after party over in England.
In England.
Oh yeah, don't you know I was in a black metal band and I toured overseas for a couple years?
Yeah, it's how I met the. That's actually how I recognized him. I have one of his CDs. Asked him to sign it.
Where
Hold on.
the
Place to
Hold on.
start though.
I gotta interrupt.
What?
I need Grim to roll your dojo. Or your black metal. Well, you already
16 versus 30.
At least
Yeah.
One of us is passing these regularly.
Grim. You have seen that before.
Yes, I have.
And take us back to
Oh
the
no, I
event.
ain't saying a damn thing until Dan comes back in here with that whiskey. I'm not talking about this before then. This shit's
Okay.
I'm gonna walk back in there with the whiskey in the glass.
So,
Hope you roll 11-1.
damn, you remember when I actually played with that shitty black metal band over in Europe and everywhere else for a couple years?
Yeah.
Man, I have a story for you. I've actually seen this symbol before. And of course, I'm going to pour as much as I can of this whiskey in that glass.
Everybody's mouth agape.
I like
I got.
did you give me a glass too? Just out of
Yeah.
curiosity. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we have our coffee cups.
I don't want any.
I do.
So
for
I'm
sure.
a splash a good bit into my coffee and just have a good old Irish coffee right now.
Same.
Okay, so we got done playing this fucking show over in Bristol, and as we're one to do, we go backstage after the show, and there's usually cute chicks hanging out for us to hang out. Well, this one particular evening, this chick approaches me and invites me to this after party. And I figured, what the hell? I'm over here in Britain. I'm used to staying over in Kentucky and everywhere else. Might as well go do something cool. Especially since people don't realize what a loser I'm actually am and they look at me like a rock god. So we leave the show and everything else. We crawl up in the cab and we go up city for a while. And we go to this ballin' ass fucking house, dude. Big ass mansion. It's actually something you'd probably see in the city because it had like Corinthian columns and everything else. Long ass driveway. Standard British rich people shit. It's like you rolled up to the Wayne household or something like that.
Good.
So we get up there, and Damaris, you'll appreciate this. The host at the party was apparently a guy with the last name Crowley.
Wait. I take a big old long drink of my coffee. So you went to Aleister Crowley's house for an after party.
Oh, yes, actually. But it wasn't Alistair that greeted me. I'm going to assume it's some descendant. I mean, you run into crazy shit like this in Europe all the time. You just learn to shrug it off and go have a good time.
Jesus Christ, alright.
So we walk into the foyer, and it's standard fucking rich British people shit. You got the fucking white wig butlers on each side, and I guess this was a costume party. Thank God I'm in a black metal band. I can show up at any party and, don't have to worry about prepping beforehand, especially if you're wearing corpse paint. So we walk in the foyer, and there's these 2 steps that go up either side. And we go upstairs to the 2nd floor, and we walk in this room. And there is this bawling ass costume party going on. Looks like something you'd see fancy British people throw back on Halloween in the 1600s. It's hilarious. So I'm still with this chick and everything else, and we roll up, and the dude introduces himself by the last name Crowley, and of course I'm like, whoa, really? Aleister Crowley? Related to him by chance? He's like, yeah, actually, this was his house back in the day. And of course, I'm like, damn, the shit you get into when you're a rock star. So I'm hanging out with this guy all night and everything else. We're doing fucking coke and getting drunk and just having a good all fucking time. And then I'm sitting there bullshitting with the chick that drugged me here and everything else. And I eventually realized that, we got a show fucking 2 countries over and everything else. All kinds of shit going on, and I'm not going to get laid for this bitch. She's not even going to suck my dick. So, I have a couple goodbye shots, and I say goodbye to the host of the party. Then I walk out the door. I leave the chick there to do whatever, and I walk down the stairs, and I walk out the front door. By the way, I drained half of my glass in one drink, just so we're aware and game.
Describe what you're feeling.
I am fucking shaken up right now. You actually see me visibly shaking, kind of staring down at the table. Glass is shaking a little bit. Look like I just seen my dead mother crawl out of it. So when I go to walk out the front door, I walk into the party room on the 2nd floor. I'm sitting there thinking to myself, there is no way I am that fucked up. I walk through the front door and somehow I'm in the party room again. Looking around, party's got a little bit livelier. People are a little less clothed and they're all making out and everything else. And the only thing I can think of at this point, rather than getting laid, is this is fucking crazy. I need to leave. So once again, I exit the door. I go into the foyer, walk down to the 1st floor, walk out the front door, and I'm back in the party room. And now, at this point, there is some kind of crazy ass orgy going on. People got these crazy ass masks on. And everybody is just all fucked up and having a good time. And at this point, I'm really fucking scared. I ain't gonna lie, boys. I've seen a lot of fucked up shit, especially when you're in a black metal band, but nothing like this. So I kind of jog lightly, almost running, back out the party room, down the stairs, out the front. At this point, I'm back in a room. It could be the party room, it could be another room in the house. All I know is everybody that was at that party is just standing there in silence, staring at me, with a spread in the crowd for me to walk towards the front where I see our host. At this point, I don't know what to fucking do. I'm so scared. I just want to run away, but I really want to fucking know what's going on. So I walk towards this Crowley figure. And as I get closer, because at this point the room is dark and candlelit, I notice that there is an altar behind him. And on this altar is that symbol that we've been staring at that's been on people's foreheads. All of a sudden, the candles go out. It's pitch black, and then all this crazy ass lighting goes on. All of a sudden, I think I'm at a Euro rave. All I'm doing is waiting for the house music to start blasting. And then everything goes pitch black. And then when I look up, I shit you not, Demarius, I'm not even fucking playing. You know those like stock video footages you've seen of what like Satan himself would look like with like the fucking goat form and everything else? One of those bastards, I could have swore it was Satan himself, is standing before me. And the only thing I remember is screaming. I woke up in a field naked 3 days later. In case you were wondering why I don't tour with black metal bands anymore.
Well, all right then. I mean, did your butthole hurt?
I mean, as far as anybody could tell, nothing fucking happened. I just got shitty drunk and passed out in the field. But I tell you, man, I have done a lot of fucking drugs and drank a lot in my life. And there is no fucking way I imagined all of that from just being fucked up. And how the hell do I end up naked in a field like 75 miles from the fucking hotel?
I mean, you're right.
Ewan.
Yeah.
Roll your notice or any identity that substitutes for notice.
So, like, detective, perhaps? Yeah. 65 versus 40.
Okay. You see him. You notice a lot more than other people do, and you
I would have
see.
been studying it the whole time because the story is kind of.
You can see.
Skepticism.
You can see his EMT skills working on overdrive, because you've been around EMTs as a police officer and a detective, and you know that they kind of zone out to protect themselves, and you can see it's working on overdrive right now because he is absolutely terrified. It's everything he can do to keep standing up. His
Guys,
hands
I'm
are
sorry. I
shaking.
need to
He's
step
about to drop
outside and have a cigarette. I'll be back.
He walks outside.
I
Well,
follow him outside.
Oh, okay.
I let him have his piece.
Okay. So now we are going to split the scenes, and we are going to go with Jonathan and Damaris. So Grim, you weren't in session 0, but you need to appropriately cover your cam with a sticky note or something.
Yeah, because you ain't here.
Okay. So, Jonathan, Damaris, you're left standing in the library. What are you
Oh
thinking
boy.
about after hearing that?
So I think we might have just jumped headlong into the deep end.
Listen, I searched all my books and I couldn't find that symbol. How crazy is it that one person we randomly know has seen that in the most, I mean, you couldn't write that in a book.
Yeah, to be honest, it's
And
kind
I
of
would know,
sketchy.
you know what I mean?
But I mean, you saw his reaction when he was telling it too. He was obviously recalling something horribly
Oh,
traumatic.
it it was almost like he was reliving it as he was telling it.
See,
But
that's what worries me though, because who the hell are we dealing with that they can do that?
not only that, but this, I mean, that symbol is at least across the waters.
It's
So,
international too.
right.
Or this is a copycat using that symbol because they found it at a party or some shit at that point
I'm
back in that day, and maybe trying to
I'm
bring it
trying
over
to
this way now.
I'm trying to track. I'm still following the platinum. Everything else is. I feel like I've got some people working on, if there's been any pawn shops recently that have sold enough platinum to melt down to get 3 ounces. Uh, I'm looking into that, but nothing's painted out yet.
Have you tried googling it?
Why don't the googling who in the city has sold
Well,
3?
well, no, because these are some very unique deaths, correct?
Yeah, I've researched. I've
So with
researched the style, the shapes.
and it'd be safe to say if you can't find it anywhere in the field or any of that sort, it might be in the occult, correct?
Yeah, but I haven't checked the deep web. That's your territory.
I know, that's what I'm getting at. I'll be right back.
So you're gonna
Can I
use what are you gonna use? The
boot up my
library?
laptop?
Oh, your laptop?
No, I'm
Okay.
gonna boot up my laptop, dog. I'm not stupid,
I was just
Jesus.
checking. Just checking.
I'm gonna boot up my
Jesus.
laptop, which is running Red Hat Linux. Because, I mean, it literally is.
As one should.
What's your laptop look like?
I have a Toshiba. I can actually grab it where the hell it is. I think it's in the living room, but it's a Toshiba Satellite X510.
It's black,
Nothing special, but it gets the job done. It's like a navy blue,
navy blue. Okay.
almost black.
Any stickers or anything on it?
I think there's a giant Namaste sticker on it.
Okay.
And a sticker of Tux the penguin.
So
Oh yeah, actually. Also, Pikachu smoking a cigarette, but that's a whole different.
I need you to roll your cyberpunk.
Yep. 78 at 25. Wow.
That's what happened to me.
Why? Why? Holy shit. It's so
You
hard
don't-
to do anything in the game.
You don't find anything, but and you spend a good 20 minutes. It may take longer for you to keep diving. It's a big deep web, but you do get a vibration in your pocket.
Can I Google something real quick while I'm on the internet?
Yeah.
3-ounce platinum ritual.
Okay. What pops up?
Let's see. I'm gonna shit if there's actually a link in ritual or something. Nothing that I can find on this one.
Page 10.
It was worth a shot.
Hey, that's what I'm saying.
There's a vibration
Oh.
in your pocket.
I'm gonna check my phone.
That number.
Alright, I'm gonna hit that nice little button that encrypts my phone, and then I'm gonna open the message.
And just to remind the audience, what was the message you sent?
I sent a picture and I asked them if they knew anything about this. To whom is the real question. Even I don't know that.
You look at the reply as it decrypts, and it says a lot more than you want to know. And at that moment, you're not sure if it's yourself or all around you. You hear heart beating. Can't tell if it's your own.
Just to be sure, can you hear that heartbeat, or is that just me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I was talking to John.
I was telling him, yeah. You are familiar with this event, John.
Yeah. That's
Is
why
there
I
any-
don't- I'm hesitant.
Is there any of your
to answer.
materials still laying on the table?
Material, like, yeah, the pictures and stuff?
Mm-hmm.
God damn it. Yeah.
I need both of you to roll your notice.
Oh.
47 versus 55.
Let's see. Where is my notice?
Under unnatural. Next to unnatural.
Gotcha.
Or if you have an identity that substitutes for notice or protects unnatural.
I'm gonna try this because. What about Undertaker? Would that my artifact? Wait a minute. Yeah, my artifact collector says protects you from malignant magic.
That's only if it's like a spell on you or anything like that. That's an attack. Substitutes
Yeah,
for
I don't
notice.
see.
You do have one that substitutes for notice.
Out of my main 4.
Yeah.
Ghost Rider.
Yep.
I rolled a 59 versus 25. I knew I was gonna fail it.
Okay.
I passed.
Oh man.
Because you have seen this before,
Yeah.
you know what to expect.
Yeah, I'm already like going over
So-
it in my head right now.
Do you bother to look down, or do you not look down? I need to know.
I don't look down.
You sure? Might be something
Yeah.
different.
Man, I'll be honest with you. I'm probably not gonna look down. My character would probably, after what he went through last time, I'm hesitant to look down.
Okay. Damaris looks at this photo and sees the ritual corpse and the mutilated and rearranged organs in the chest are they moving? And then you look and you see the heart is beating. And because
What in the fuck is that?
you succeeded, the eyes that are in the throat, resting on the tongue, they're looking directly at you.
Hey, Jonathan, your picture's doing something fucking weird.
I have not broke contact with his eyes, and I just look straight at him. I don't veer away, and I tell him, "What do you see?"
Bro, the heart's beating and the eyes are looking at me. What do I do?
Every corpse they took of the crime scene, they're all doing the same thing, and the eyes are facing you from different angles, Damaris.
Literally all of them are staring at me. What do I do?
Don't run.
I'm not running. I'm too fucking scared to move, to be honest.
Well, I'm just telling you from experience.
I
Running
am
is
doing my
bad,
best
so-
to not piss my pants right now if I'm being 100% with you, Jonathan.
All right, I'm gonna talk you through this. I want you to look at the images that you're seeing.
Oh
And
yeah, I can't look away.
And don't break contact. Ask them. Ask the images. What are you trying to show me?
What are you trying to show me here?
Do you want to know the truth? To quote an amazing GM, everything comes at a cost.
Sure.
Oh God! I know
Time
who
to go
said that too,
insane.
so- Did they answer you? Do you see something different?
All the lights shut off in the library.
God damn it! Oh my God! My character immediately closes his eyes and just fucking stands still, just fucking tensed up like a mother. He starts breathing heavy and fast. He's trying to calm himself down, but I don't know if he's going to be able to.
Okay. And we are going to switch scenes.
Fuck.
I'm gonna use the bathroom really quick.
Okay. Cover your cam.
Yeah, working on it.
No.
So, we step outside the Logos Minerva.
Do I witness you lighting up a
Brisk,
cigarette?
brisk cold night air. Yeah, he's standing there.
I am. I'm sitting there smoking a clove. Dude, Ewan, I know you are experienced and everything else, and I'm sorry if I try to put on a show or something like that. I literally have not talked about that shit since I'd say a year after it happened, man. And I mean, it just messes with my head every time I ever talk about it, which is why I don't speak of it.
Oh no, I understand. I don't want you to feel like you can't express something like that. It's really hard to get over something like that, especially when it feels so real, but your brain tells you it's not.
Oh, believe me, I'm well aware. Because of that shit, I quit playing music. I roamed around Asia for like 10 years, and now I'm back in the city working as an EM.
I mean,
Drastic shift.
it worries me more taking us all to get to what's going to be the end of this case, because I don't. If there are supernatural elements with this, and I have to assume at this point that you didn't, you know, go on a drug binge for 3 straight days, that you just essentially lost.
Brother, I appreciate you saying that.
Well, there has to be, honestly, a much more, for lack of a better word, terrifying explanation to all of this. And it's a very unfortunate thing that we're going to have to figure this out. And just talking about it at any point is probably one of the bravest things you can do. And I don't want you to feel like you can't talk to, especially me, about it directly, because I've had a lot of weird cases. I've solved a lot of weird crimes, and I don't feel like you can't talk about what happened, because there's no way we'll figure this out if you can't actually talk about what's going on.
Well, honestly, you'd be the one person to be the most skeptical about it in the group. So, honestly, I value your opinion above everybody else because you're less likely to believe anything that may even remotely be bullshit.
Well, it makes more sense to, from your position, as far as I'm concerned. And you know what? You could have tried to make that up, but honestly, there was way too much genuine to even assume that. And I've been doing this for a long time, so I can spot a lie pretty well. Um, but that felt real. It hit me a little bit closer to home than I wish it would. Um, Especially knowing a few of these cases, not to mention some other things that I've been a part of in my life. And it's one of those things where you sort of just brush it off. You pretend like maybe it didn't happen. But hearing that there's such a case that feels so similar, or at least in the sense of the almost supernatural feeling to it, it really helps to validate that maybe what I went through in my own life is not something that's just in my brain, something that's just fake.
Kind of makes me wish I wasn't a piece of shit. Because I spent all that time in Europe stealing myself from coming into an encounter like this and being able to maintain my rationality and my sanity rather than actually looking into anything about the actual shit that occurred to me.
Well, yeah, but you basically blacked out for 3 days. What happened to had you pursued that? I mean, how
That
would
was
you
my
have
thoughts,
pursued that?
exactly.
I don't know that I would think about it as I did nothing for 3 months. I think what you put your brain through in itself was what you did for the months following that ordeal, because going back to it directly is not something anyone would do. I wouldn't do, and I have seen so many cases that have confused me and made me question everything and made me want to keep going to figure out every little clue and turn over every stone. But something that level of supernatural might even keep me away from it.
You know, it's ironic because people in black metal bands talk about their love of Satan and everything else, and you know how we worship the occult. But when shit like that happens to you, you just, you know, ironically, I mean, I know I talk about bands and everything else, man, because I'm a big metalhead, but that's what the hell happened to the guitarist from Black Sabbath, man. He wrote that song, and fucking he interacted with Satan himself, and he truly believed that. You've seen what happened to Tony Iommi after that.
I mean, you're not wrong. The evidence is, I'm afraid, piling up. And I have to say, I'm afraid because there's no better way to put it. Um, I legitimately am scared for this, especially knowing that you've experienced it firsthand now, and obviously these are not docile forces.
Obviously. Well, bro, I appreciate you coming out the bullshit with me, but it is cold. We probably should go back inside.
I agree entirely. So walk back in.
As you're talking, the sound fades. Your voices fade. The ambient cars driving by, you can't hear them anymore.
Hold on a second, man. I think I got a head rush from smoking that clove.
You go to speak, and it's muted. It's like it doesn't really come out.
Is that before I open the door?
Yeah.
Okay.
And you can feel this wind almost like breathing all around you. And this moaning, deep, slow, off in the distance. Long drone. And
I'm gonna look in the direction.
it's all around you. But as you turn to look around, all of the lights in the library are out. Black. The doors are
I
glass.
point at the lights. And all I can do is try to say were those out a minute ago. But I think the fact that I can't hear anything means that I assume I can't hear my voice either, so I likely just point at it. And look
You
back
point
at Grim.
and you look at each other, and it's almost like you can feel breath in the back of your neck, down your back. Both of you.
I breathe in real deep and try to open the door.
So you walk back up the steps.
Mm-hmm.
I need you to roll struggle. Or anything that substitutes for struggle. Any of your identities.
Him or both of us.
He wanted to open the door.
84-30.
That reminds me, I gotta pull that back over. The door. Quote another favorite movie. The way is shut. The door doesn't open. But it's really strange because the light from the street should shine through the glass into the floor, and it's like it's black glass.
Our vehicles are parked on the street, yeah?
Yep.
I let go of the door and back up some. Like taking my hand off of it in kind of a surprised fashion.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go get my Boken and try to open that front door.
Remind the audience what a boken is.
A Boken is a wooden training sword that you see used in Japanese dojo to help teach sword combat. You usually see this on kung fu films and Japanese anime where sword fighting is.
Yep.
As I see him coming at the door, I imagine, I put my hand out to try to stop him.
Okay. Do you let him stop you?
I look at him and I give him the what the fuck look on my face.
And I just put up one finger, like kind of a hold on.
Okay.
And I listen and put my hand on my gun, because obviously I have that with me.
Okay.
And I'm just holding him.
All you can hear is this breathing. It's almost like it vibrates your body as it travels down your neck and down your back. Both of you.
Just breathing in and out very slowly.
Yeah.
Trying to keep myself as calm as possible.
Okay.
And again, hand on gun, which maybe makes me. I don't know if it does or not, but it always seems like it does. So that's just trying to scan the surroundings for something that might likely be coming at us.
Roll your notice.
64 versus 40 for detective.
64 versus 40. One thing you notice is there, because it's kind of partial. So there should be backup lights and floodlights that kick on outside and inside of the building if the power should ever go out. They are independent sources of power. They do not kick on.
Does it look like the power is completely just out, or does it look like the power is being withheld, for lack of a better word? Like, can I see any bit of light coming through what appears to be darkness where a light
It
would
is
be?
solid black glass. It might as well be onyx marble.
What about the windows to the library? From the light, where the light was coming out of those windows, are those just also that same sort of look?
Yeah, it's several stories. I'd say at least four-story building. Although they're extended stories, so the windows are a lot taller. All of them are black.
So does it feel like straight up just nighttime outside with like a blackout's happening and it's nighttime?
It's nighttime, but the street lights and all of the other buildings give off plenty of light everywhere. You're in downtown, you know, New Athens, so it's fucking lit up at night.
Yeah, well, that's what I mean though. Is it a like what kind of night is it?
It's a bright.
Can I still see?
Yeah, it's a bright night. You can see the rest of the street. Cars are driving by. You can't hear them.
I'm gonna walk across the street, or at least attempt to.
Do you look both ways before
Obviously,
you cross the
looking
street?
for cars. Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Even using a crosswalk if there's one nearby.
Okay.
I don't want to be a filthy J.
You walk across.
Is it the same situation?
Yep.
Hey!
Nothing comes out.
If I look down the street as far down it as I can go, can I see a threshold of some kind? Like maybe if you're standing in the middle of a sunny day and you can see rain coming at you, can I see that sort of threshold looking back?
No. You see the rest of the road for as far as you can see. I mean, it's you see the rest of the giant skyscrapers in this down this main strip and all the buildings and all the lights and people walking.
Across the street again. Is there anything? Are there any rocks, just like on the road, on the sidewalk, anywhere around?
Roll your notice for a detective. Grim, you can roll your notice for unnatural.
61 versus 40.
Yeah, you find a rock.
Supernatural roll.
You can either roll your notice or any identity that would substitute for it. So I'm thinking
How do you get below 0?
I'm thinking EMT. You can roll EMT.
10 versus 30.
Oh, you rolled lie. You rolled the wrong thing. But
Yeah. No, the one below it, EMT is 10 versus 30. I didn't mean to click on lie.
He's trying to lie to himself about the situation.
Okay. The situation just got worse.
No, I got my push to talk macro to one of my mouse bindings. But yeah, my EMT rolls 10 against 30.
I have to see if I actually have this loaded.
Did you say it got worse?
Yeah.
It always gets worse.
Oh, wow. I have to load this.
Are there any street signs around me? Fairly large ones. Speed limit signs would be the best.
Street signs?
Yeah. Stop
Yeah.
sign.
Yeah.
I'm gonna throw
Actually,
the
traffic
rock.
lights.
Oh, are there any signs about?
Yeah. I mean, there's different like storefront signs and things like that.
No, I need like a road sign, like an aluminum one that I can't hurt when I throw a rock at it.
I mean, if you walked a little bit, yeah, you'd find one.
Okay, I'm gonna do that.
Okay.
Throw the rock at the sign.
You don't hear anything.
Okay.
You know it connects.
I'll walk back to where Grim's standing.
He is standing there, staring. At the black glass with his mouth wide open.
Can I pull out my phone and just type in WTH or WTF?
Yeah.
And then like aim it at Grim?
Oh, you walk up to him.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we'll get to you in a second.
So what do I see?
I want you to describe you rolled what numbers again?
10 versus 30.
Okay. So you can mark a hardened in your unnatural. So that would be a little dot. It goes from left to
I
right.
got you. Mark it to the right, correct?
Yeah, it starts from on the left side going right. So stack them that way.
Yep. I got 3 marks in unnatural.
It should be the circles, not the squares, just so you know. Now
Yes,
describe
the circles.
to everyone what you feel in this moment as you see a face that is a face you've never seen, but feels intimately familiar.
As
And
I'm staring
hold on,
upwards.
hold on, hold on. I'm not finished. So describe what you feel, and then role play that out when you see this in the inside the glass fade into view.
I have a cold chill go up my spine, and I think how fucked up it is that shit like this starts happening to me the moment I speak of what happened to me before. I really feel like Ewan that is standing next to me has no clue what's going inside or that he can see
He
what the
hasn't
hell's going on in that window.
he hasn't
Otherwise, he
quite
wouldn't
walked
be
up to you
holding
yet.
his phone. Otherwise, he wouldn't have his phone out playing with it. And I'm really afraid for my two buddies that are inside there right now while all this shit is going on. And I can't help but think that something crazy has occurred while we were outside having a smoke. So I turn over and stare at Ewan, and I point with my boken at the window and mouth, "What the fuck?" Because honestly,
In that
if you
moment,
live in this city,
he is holding up his phone that says "What the fuck" as you mouth "What the fuck" at the exact same time.
never mind. I guess he can see it.
Except he hasn't.
Can I see it?
Nope.
Yeah.
You
Oh,
can
he
actually.
most certainly.
You walked away. He mentioned thing. You can roll again to see if you see it. Anything for notice or related to unnatural, unless you want to use your donut magic.
Oh, I could use that.
You sure you
Yeah,
want to?
let's try that.
Everything
Well,
comes at a cost.
yeah, I absolutely do. I want to know what's going on, and I still failed, so it's fine. 64 versus 4.
64 versus 40.
Mm.
So, describe for us what happens when you use your donut magic.
Um, essentially, I'm looking around, trying to focus on one specific thing, the library in this instance, or the fact that there are no lights protruding from windows where I knew that there were just lights on. And I'm trying to concentrate as much as I can, all of my energy put forth towards concentrating on the library to find out anything I can find out that's different, that why the darkness is shrouding us the way that it is, why why we can't hear anything. Like I'm basically just full concentrating as hard as I possibly can on the details that have changed over the course of the last few minutes. And clearly
He's
I'm getting nothing, but
he's pointing to something within the window.
so I look at the window.
Do you step up to the window or do you just look from where you're standing?
Well, I look at it. Well, I move closer to him and look at the window because I'm trying to figure out exactly what he's pointing at.
Okay. You see that skull?
Have I seen that skull before?
No.
It's just a Satanist sort of ordeal, I guess, maybe?
It's looking at you, tilting
I
its head.
step back just a little bit, but I'm still breathing very slowly.
It's like it's the head of a person, except you don't see a body. You just see the skull floating about, head height, looking at you, tilting its head.
I'm just breathing very slowly, staring back at it. Hand gripped on gun because protection.
Okay. So, in that
I'm gonna
moment,
go try the door again.
you grip your gun, and because you had to take your hands off of your gun to text and show the phone. Do you drop your phone?
I can pocket my phone relatively fast, and I have two hands.
Okay. So you pocket your phone, you hold your gun. When you touch your gun, you see things you've never seen before. You see yourself. It's almost like old cases you've worked or been at least in the vicinity uh, of people getting shot, and you're the one doing the shooting. From your perspective, you're shooting people over and over, different people.
I take my hand off the gun.
Each
as
time you
soon as
pull
the
the trigger,
vision starts.
each time you pull the trigger, it shifts to another person.
I take my hand off the gun as soon as the visions start. And kind of start breathing a little bit heavier.
Okay.
Still relatively slow, but obviously my heart's beating faster than it was.
In that moment, the skull tilts its head, kind of looks back and forth to each of you, and then it's almost like it turns and walks away and just fades from view. And then the door opens. Just cracks open.
I walk inside.
Walk inside. And we're going to switch scenes real quick as you two join in to Jonathan and Damaris. Jonathan?
I'm pretty sure he said he was having some issues. I don't.
Oh, I didn't see.
It's in Discord.
I don't see that because I don't have that pulled up.
I was like, oh, sales, it is 11.
Oh, Jesus, this will.
Mm-hmm. Well,
Say Helix, that skull.
you don't see it.
Hell with that skull. No, just that same picture.
Mm-hmm. Gone.
He said if he doesn't know how long the current situation's going to be, but if it's going to start fucking things up or anything, just say that his character needs to go home after getting a phone call.
Is he done for the night or?
He said
That's what it sounds like.
his washer dumped a bunch of water all over his dining room, and he was helping getting it clean.
Okay.
It's unplugged.
I'd probably say he's done for the night.
Yeah.
Most likely.
Yeah.
Okay. That actually kind of works out nicely because as you all walk back in to, as you two walk into the darkness, and step where you think Damaris should be. Lights kick back on, and for a split second, you see that skull? The visage of it, transparent, over Damaris's face. And then you blink and it's gone. But Jonathan's no longer standing there. And from Damaris's perspective, when the lights come back on, you see like a glow, just a faint glow for just a split second of that symbol on Ewan and Grimm's forehead.
Damaris, what the fuck just happened?
I don't really know.
Where did Jonathan go?
What? I'd start looking around.
He was
I don't know.
he was right in front of you talking, like you were like 2 feet away when you were talking to him.
Yeah, like I was literally just talking to him, and then all the weird shit started happening. The photos came alive, and then
The photos came alive.
How the hell can you
Yeah.
see that shit in the dark, dude? It was pitch black. We seen where the power went out.
Ewan, that sounds familiar when he mentions the photos.
Did I see that happen?
Just now or several months ago?
No, before, yeah.
Several months ago you saw it.
Oh, I wasn't sure if I actually saw them move
Yeah, you did.
or if I'd rationed my way out of it.
You may have rationed your way out of it. I don't know. Did you?
I mean, I would have until someone else said the same thing happened.
Yeah. Jonathan said he saw it happen when it happened. But
Well, yeah. That's in my mind. My mind has to immediately go to at least slight skeptic, depending on the person. And at the time, it was a lot of information that in my mind he shouldn't have had. So it was slightly untrustworthy information. So I definitely wouldn't have counted his
your
account
brain
of
makes
the
a
same
wall.
account. Yes.
Okay. So he just mentions that out of the blue and you're like, wait, what?
What did the? What do you mean they moved? Can you?
the fucking hearts are beating, and they were staring at me. It was weird as hell. And I was trying to ask Jonathan what was happening because he seemed to like this had happened to him or something. And now he's
Oh.
fucking missing. So
Did you say they
Bro,
were
did you eat
staring
any
at you?
tabs or anything before we got here? I mean, I know you've been
No.
working a long shift, but
no, just the coffee and the whiskey.
What did you do when the lights went out?
I stood here. I couldn't move. I was like paralyzed with fear.
Did you notice anything while the lights were off? as they were
Yeah, the
coming back
fucking
on?
I no. No. Next thing I saw was you guys.
For
Okay.
you, maybe 3 seconds have passed.
Yeah.
I mean, but it was still out for a while. Did you stood in fear for the entire time that the lights
It's
were
been
out?
like 3 fucking seconds. What are you talking about?
No.
You guys just went for a smoke like 3 seconds ago. I just assumed that you guys had just come back in because you heard all the shit. You heard one of us yelling or something.
I'm shaking my head and going off to the cupboard for a search of another stronger beverage.
I had enough time to walk not
We're all-
only
Johnny Walker's in the fridge.
back, but down the street and back.
You find Johnny
a
Walker?
little ways. It was longer.
It's the blue too, so it's the good stuff.
About 20 minutes, maybe 30 minutes, Ewan.
I look at my phone to look at the time.
About 20, 30 minutes.
Have passed.
Mm-hmm.
I tell Damaris, look at your phone. What time does it say you have?
Actually, I look at my phone and look at the time of the last text because that happened right before all this shit went down.
About 30
And
minutes
then I
ago.
look at the. Holy shit! So did I just
Yeah,
like black
see?
out or what, boys?
See, my story doesn't sound so crazy now, does it?
Not
It's
sure it
weird
sounded-
that happened right after you said that, right after you'd mentioned that. To be honest.
Bro, I promise I didn't put anything in your whiskey. I don't do that.
Um. So, did you see a skull?
What kind of skull?
I don't have. It's almost fading. It's essentially a
Did it by
skull.
chance have a symbol carved in the forehead and then two medium-sized long horns?
Yes, and the symbol looked like a pentagram or a goat's head. But I'm not sure if that's what that was or not.
Yeah, I might know what that is.
What what is it?
Where did you see that at?
I saw it in a window into this
Here?
very building.
I
And
started
then
like looking around, like freaked out,
and
because
then I saw it again.
what that implies for me is not very good.
Mhm.
And then I saw it again just before the lights came back on. And what could only be considered a flash taking the place of your very own head.
Oh.
Translucently.
Oh, okay, yeah, that. Okay, I have to go read. I'll be back. I go to my backpack and pull
What
out a
is-
couple books.
What is Damara's thinking right now? Or feeling?
Well, for one, worry because Drea might be in the building, and I don't know how that's gonna go at all.
Oh, the
Two,
cams are messed up.
kind of excitement.
I know. I gotta
Oh
fix
yeah,
them.
because he left. Kind of excitement because I mean, hell, Drea might be in the building. But mostly just fucking terror because I saw what happened to those people. I heard the reports and saw the photos.
So, at this point, I need you to roll your helplessness.
Helplessness. Where the so fitness?
Yep.
40 versus 60?
You can mark a hardened. Actually, hold on. You're gonna defend with your status, so you need to roll your status. So, roll the status button.
54 out of 55. Holy shit.
Ooh.
So you are going to take a failed in helplessness. Now, does any of this so you're obsessed with finding the details.
Hmm.
Do you think your noble would kick in, learn hidden knowledge, or your obsession? Which one do you think would be more?
Probably the noble. I mean, they kind of go
Okay.
hand in hand. They're two sides of the same coin, but
You can describe what it's like as your noble, your sense of nobility kicks in as for what it is, as you can re-roll, you can spend your noble to re-roll this session, and describe what it's like as you use it.
so what does that do?
It lets you roll your status again.
Okay. I mean, I passed the status, so I don't want to, but
54 versus.
do I want
Oh,
to
you
fail
passed
that
it.
one?
Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry.
But that's why I was real confused.
Okay, so take that failed that you just put on there. Take it off.
I can't. Only you can.
You can. All you gotta do is well, there's a little
I'm
button to
clicking
the
it.
left of it. There's like a shadow hidden button. Just move your mouse to the
Oh,
left.
okay. I see.
There you go.
Thank you.
So as you just barely hold yourself together, take that failed off.
I did.
And
It was in helplessness, not isolation. The isolation one
oh,
was a
okay.
predetermined
So
dog.
you're gonna add a hardened to helplessness. So you pass that.
Okay.
Describe what it's like as you just barely pull yourself together enough to figure out what the fuck is going on about what just happened and what he just told you.
Well, a lot of cynicism, to be honest, even though I saw what I saw with my own eyes. But the cynicism is to like, Grim doesn't have anything to do with this, considering I saw the symbols on their heads too. Because I don't want to
Mhm.
mention that yet, because just in case, what if, what if they're working with the people who are working with Drea and they want to stop me because Drea is necessary or something to what they're fucking planning, considering I know what I know about her. So I guess self-cautious.
A little bit of mistrust.
Just a little, not much, because I mean these dudes have been there for me as far as I've been able to tell as so far.
Mm-hmm.
Anytime I needed them, they were there. So it's like, well, it definitely sowed the seed of distrust a little bit,
Okay.
or that could be a prediction for the future. My mind wanders back to a couple of occult books that I've read about premonitions and divining.
Okay.
I recognize that look. Hey, Damaris, is this one of those things where we should just let ourselves out, or should I be making sandwiches?
Really your choice, but we got the shit for sandwiches in the fridge.
Fair enough.
So do you go make sandwiches?
Oh, I totally go make sandwiches. I'm drinking $300 scotch on top of wild turkey, and if I don't eat sandwiches, I'm not doing anything, including driving when we leave here or running away.
Okay. How many shots have you taken?
Quite honestly, I've had the equivalent of, we're going to say 7 shots of the wild turkey, but the
Oh,
Johnny Walker Blue is much, much, much less because that is sipping scotch. So I probably had
straight.
about 2 shots of that. I'm slowly working on it on the rocks.
okay. Yeah, you're gonna have to roll me a fitness. Let's say I'll let you roll an
Son,
identity.
I was a black metal musician for approximately 20
Yeah,
years. Do you think this has got me drunk?
yeah, you can roll that identity.
73 versus 30.
Shit.
Infected do.
So I need you to, if you want to, let's see what you've got: hypocrisy, help those in need, surround, fear is surrounded by strange enemies, um, obsession, metal music, and the occult. So actually, I think your noble or your obsession would uh fit here. Which one do you think would apply more, your noble or your obsession?
Probably the noble because Brendo seems to be all zoned out at the moment.
Okay.
Demarius seems very focused, and I'm just trying to keep everybody awake and moving.
So you can re-roll your black metal.
Not as bad, 43 versus 30.
Okay. At this point, you are not blacked out, but you are definitely well drunk.
Thus, the
Well,
reason for the
well drunk.
prosciutto and Swiss sandwiches.
Okay, so you sit down, you get the sandwiches, and let's proceed as the mystery of Jonathan and what you all have to plan that you've never got around to planning. And at this point, while he's making sandwiches and Damaris is pouring through books, you have realized that you have yet to even mention the murders related to Damaris. And it's probably why he called you here.
I just realized that I haven't really asked him why you called us here. So I go stand next to where Damaris is looking, the books he's looking through. And I kind of look over to glance at the book he's looking at currently.
What are you looking at, Damaris?
I'm looking at a book on divination and rituals involving the skull that I've compiled in my own journals.
Oh, you're looking at your own
Whether
journal.
they be fake or real. Yeah. I'm looking at information about the skull that I've collected.
Is this the one that has the particular, I'll say, automated writing?
Automated.
The writing that seemed to write from your hand.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that one. The book that was basically based around the whole fucking skull.
Are any of those pages on display?
Not really. I mean, most of them are.
Okay.
It just looks like a normal journal entry.
I just didn't know what page you had it turned to. If any of those were facing upward to him.
Oh, no, I'm looking at the divination section because we'll
Okay.
just say that it had some capabilities to divine a little bit.
Okay.
As far as I knew.
That's what you see, Ewan.
So I sit down next to him. Damaris, why did you call us here?
See, originally I called you here to investigate, all of this in one place, since it seems like all of us are grabbing at the same threads, just different parts of the thread, But in light of certain circumstances, I would say we need to figure out where the fuck Jonathan is and switch our priorities up a little bit. So I'd like you guys to bear with me.
What are you looking at?
We can figure everything else out later. It's a book on some occult artifacts that I've run into over time.
Have you run into this skull?
Possibly. That's actually what I'm trying to double check. I don't want to say I have when if it's not the same one. But
Do
my
you have
sister
an
had
image?
access to one that is no longer in my possession. That sounds oddly familiar,
Do
and
you
I'm
have
really
a
hoping that's not it because, well, to put it frankly, keep your hand on your gun because she might be here.
do you have do you have a do you have an image of that skull or something? A drawing, anything?
Can I sketch it up from memory?
Well, it's still burned into my brain. Maybe I can compare.
Can you sketch it up from memory? I'll let you roll your librarian.
I mean, I'm not even talking like a perfect reproduction, just general gist of what it looked like,
Yeah.
Hold on, I'm trying to find the right screen here. There we go. Oh no, 95 at 25. It's got some lines and some circles, but yeah, I'm not an artist in this.
I walk by the drawing and look over and giggle and make a comment about how he must have been watching Soul Eater recently.
Hey, suck it, all right? We're all into that same weeb shit.
I don't
I
have
thought
any.
a black metal artist would be obsessed with anime. I just
When
Hey,
he
bro, you fuck bitches over in Japan. That's what happens, sir.
Can I
Hey,
use
fair.
my detective to attempt to sketch out what I saw? Especially with it being
yes,
as real as I saw it.
absolutely.
There we go. There we go. All right.
Hey,
Now we're
27 out
thinking
of
with
40 or
portals.
27 versus 40.
Um, he has hung out with a lot of portrait artists for finding people, and
You
he's
said slept with
Compare the
wrong.
two drawings with each other.
and the thing is, he's probably annoyed a lot of sketch artists when it comes to trying to get the right face that someone saw, and especially with his personality, he's probably got them really under their skin a couple times. But this is the first time you've actually seen a rendering of this skull in a long time, probably a year or more. What are you feeling when you see this?
Oh no! When I see this, I'm gonna stand up, walk over where my jacket's hanging, and pull my gun out, check and see if the barrel's loaded.
As soon as he grabs his gun, I grab mine as well out of instinct.
Okay.
I literally just said it'd be good to keep your gun, your hand on your gun, my man. That skull right there is the very same one that I had in my possession for a very long time.
Why would I be seeing it now?
Best guess from what I could tell, Drea's here somewhere, and keep your gun fucking ready.
If it is Drea and
Because
she has the ability,
she's the last one that I know that had possession of that skull.
if she has the ability to do what she did to me and Grim just now outside, I don't think there's anything that I am going to be able to do with a gun. I'll shoot it at anything. I'll probably hit it. But I don't
Yeah, just
think it's
be
going to
sure
stop
to
it.
be sure to shoot her in the head if you do, because I probably won't be able to. Now, anyways, Grim.
Wow.
At least I'm being
Intense.
honest. Yeah, keep your eyes out. Keep your boken on you.
Okay.
Hey, interesting fact. When I was having my meltdown over in Europe, I actually had this thing blessed, so I figured it would do more damage than some. Unless
All
they're
right,
werewolves and you got silver.
let's hope that particular religion wasn't bullshit then.
Japanese usually get it close.
That's fair. That's fair.
I need you to roll for me, Grim.
So, okay, well, I'm gonna walk back over to my journal, pull it back over to the
Dojo metal.
main area real quick, and start talking.
85 versus 30.
Okay.
Start talking to Ewan about some of the more vague details about the skull that I know.
You want to?
Just out of curiosity, do I notice if there's like a temperature drop or anything in any section of the library?
You want to go take a look around?
Kind of do.
It's a big library.
Maybe start around the window where I seen that crazy shit.
Okay. So you have a -10 shift because you're drunk. So just so you know, and you can roll your dojo metal.
Fair enough. $52 versus 30. I don't see shit.
Now you're sweating.
Think it may be too buzzed for this.
Are you
Demarius,
swinging your sword or anything?
Fuck no, we don't do that kind of shit crazily. I did that when I first started this, and I had enough people fucking crack me in the knuckles to tell me it's not a toy. So we don't really do that.
Fair.
So I know this is awkward in the state that we're in, but I am rather buzzed, and at this point, I could give a fuck. You got any place I can take a short nap? You just kind of poke me if anything goes.
Yeah, and right off the kitchenette, there's the room I use for naps on my breaks. I mean, I've got like a little mattress and stuff in there, dog.
Bless
The
you.
basement of
And
this
I
place
promise.
is actually a emergency shelter, so I just pulled one of the cots from down there. We have like 300, so
Fair enough. And just so you know, I only had about 4 shots of your blue. I didn't want to blow through it like some kind of wino. I know how good quality that.
oh, you're all good. The director keeps it well stocked. That's not even mine. So
Lucky bastard. Wish I had your job sometimes.
yeah, he won't notice a little bit gone, but it'll be all right.
So, with him retiring for the evening, do you discuss any plans?
I mean, I just kind of fill you in on everything I know about the skull, as much as I've figured out at least. I asked him if I can add that sketch to the back of the book too. I'm just gonna tape it to the back of the inside cover.
Absolutely.
Inside of the back cover, I mean.
Okay. Ewan, do you want to share any details?
Well, I was gonna ask, do you think that your sister got sort of,
Possessed?
well, I hate to use the word inspired, but from the photos that we looked at that Mr. Brownstone had earlier, um, we've seen, like, especially the cases I was working on when we met were so similar but not. They are parts of it that was done very sloppy. And what I'm trying to figure out is, do you think that your sister has the capability to, I don't necessarily mean get better, but maybe get
Remove someone's organs and then replace them with the skill of a professional? Absolutely not.
yes.
But whatever entity might be in her, maybe. If I'm being dead honest.
I don't know. I'm gonna have to do kind of a lot of research.
Tell me about it.
More on possession than anything else because that's an interesting take. Um,
It's not really a take, more so than I witnessed it happening, and the next thing I know, she's gone. And then she's murdered 5 people, and that was not my sister that I saw leaving my house.
we haven't, not we, force of habit. It's not like she's been caught as the person doing it for certain. It's still,
I mean, this new set that Jonathan was telling us about is definitely most likely not her, is what I'm getting at. So we have 2 concurrent things associated with the same main branch of things.
that's
Let's
why I
just say
asked if
it's
you
the
thought.
Snake Society. Let's call it that, considering the Ouroboros on it.
That's fair, but the
As a
reason that I asked if you thought she could get better was because of
Oh,
how similar, and
true.
it's been several months.
But if it's the same entity controlling all of this, then the MO is going to be the same, but the person could be different, is what I'm getting at. For all I
Maybe,
know,
but
my
if
sister could be in a fucking crypt somewhere,
maybe,
and
but if we're
her
looking
body's
at
been disposed of. You know what I mean?
but if we're looking at what we would have to assume as a possession, why would the quality change?
We're all right. Look,
I,
I'm not assuming they're the same person doing both of these. Is what I'm saying. These are 2 separate people. One's copying the other. We just have to figure out which one's copying what.
was gonna say, as a point of
That's
order,
the
these
basis of what I'm trying to say.
these series of murders happened about 6 to 7 months apart, and the first 5 that were surgically done happened first, and when the second ones like you didn't even know about those, Damaris, and then when the second ones happened, uh, Ewan was the one that showed up at your house questioning about your sister because they found fingerprints at the scene, a scene which you have never been to, by the way.
Yeah, I'd only seen pictures of the first one. That's how we originally storyboarded it, but that's
Mm,
changed.
he it that changed because he gave you pictures of an old orphanage of and asked if you've seen this place before, but he didn't really tell you why because he was doing his job. It's not the job. It's not the cop's job to tell you why he's asking you. He's just asking you. Um, but he was the one that questioned you, and you over time got to know each other through the books, and he eventually crossed you off as a suspect, and just started, using you for help, and you guys got to be friends or whatever.
So, do you think you could find me? God, I can't believe I'm saying this. Some books that might be on the closest thing we can consider to real possession.
Yeah, that'd be the book in my hand right here.
How much do you have about it?
Looks like there's a whole 2 chapters, but half of the second chapter I still haven't made it through yet.
Do you know of any others?
Not with any credibility.
Okay.
Isn't there that one
I'll
movie
I'll
with
come
Ryan
flat out.
Reynolds?
I'll come flat out with him about how the book came to be, by the way.
Okay, so when he starts to describe this book, he shows you. Do you show him the pages?
Yeah, I
What
mean, I'm pretty confident I can trust him at this point.
what you see being a detective, you see two completely different sets of handwriting style and also language. It goes from English to a language you've never seen before, in a font you've never seen before. It's like it merges glyphs with Latin with cuneiform, and it is very complex and elaborate.
Can you read this?
Kind of. I've been working my way through it slowly, mostly with some help from some unknown sources, if I'm being dead honest. But yeah, I mean, I'm pretty proficient at working my way through it thus far.
Do you think you'd be able to translate a copy into layman's terms?
I'll be honest, it's been this long and I've only got this far, and I'm just like pointing at like 3 chapters out of like the 20 that are in there. Like I've decoded here and there of bits and pieces of these other ones, but my Latin is not that great now. And whatever the fuck this other language is, I don't even know what script this is, to be honest. I've just been slowly working my way through with a cipher that
So
works about a quarter of the time. So
where did it come from?
that would be my brain somehow. Not quite sure on that one still, but
So it,
yeah, I created it over time.
but these are clearly two different people's handwritings.
Yeah, hence the whole possession thing. I'm pretty sure it happened to me first, at least for a time.
Do you think it happened to you earlier?
Quite possibly, if we're being dead honest. I had lost 30 minutes.
I wonder if that's what happened to Mr. Brimstone.
Could be.
Grim, roll your fitness or your black metal.
black metal.
Yeah, either one.
Black metal's 90 versus 30.
You black out. As you all are talking, there is a wooden clatter on a tile floor coming from the room where Grim was sleeping.
Grab my gun and start walking towards the room. This time unholster it completely.
Before you, do you do it like a cop, or you just walk in there with your gun?
Oh, like a cop for certain.
As you go to clear the room, as you sweep,
Yeah.
you're doing it slowly. And before you get to where Grim is, on the cot in the room, you see blood splatter on the floor. Do you keep moving?
Can I follow the splatter to a source?
Yeah.
I mean, without moving.
No. You
I
have to move
guess I'm
further into
stepping
the room.
into the door frame, and now my gun is like pointed towards the general direction I would assume that the blood stain or the blood splatter came from.
It is on the floor, and you see Grim passed out on the bed, and the Boken, the wooden sword, is covered in blood and has clattered on the floor and basically hit the floor a couple times and splattered blood in different spots, and it's laying on the floor.
Is it human blood? I've seen a lot of that.
It looks like fresh blood.
I walk over to where Grim is sleeping and pull him over to make sure it's not from him.
He's laying on his back. He's passed the fuck out.
Oh, okay. No blood marks or anything on him?
Maybe a little on his hand where he was holding the sword.
Is there a body other
Nope.
than his? Hey, Damaris. You should come
Yo.
look at this.
Gun or nah? This thing's getting heavy.
Mine's out, but I don't.
All right, bring in my gun. Got it. I walk in,
As a point of
gun
order,
in my waist.
Ewan, what gun do you have?
Hold on, I have that information. So I only technically own.
Oh yeah, I've
two.
never described what gun I have I?
You're about to.
Well, could you handle that description since you literally own it and I can't?
Well, I don't think I'm allowed to show it on
Oh.
stream.
No, but you know what I mean. Description wise, you could describe it better than I could.
It's mine is a Glock G19. That's the one that stays in my holster.
So, as a cop, you would notice what kind of gun Damaris has. And it is a Taurus Tracker 357 with a 7.5-inch barrel. It is a massive gun, revolver, that shoots 7 shots. It looks like Rick's gun from The Walking Dead if it was a 357.
I just look at it for a second, in almost like a not believing sort of fashion, and then kind of looking back, remembering that I'm actually supposed to be doing something.
Hey, Ewan.
Yeah.
Mine's bigger. Just shake it like this.
Just don't miss
What did you
sometimes.
wanna show me? Oh, trust me, I this thing gets stop at rhinoceros. All I gotta do is hit the general vicinity.
I point at the floor where the blood is and where it likely originated.
And here's the real question: do I see it?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, we should probably make sure that's not Jonathan bleeding out somewhere, right? That's what we should do.
I mean, I agree, but I don't know where we
But
would even check.
it's also on Grimm's Boken. Grimm! This is gonna suck for him, but I pulled the smelling salts out of the medicine cabinet.
The other thing
Grim, roll
that
your
bothers me,
fitness.
Fitness, huh?
Mhm.
Fitting his dick in your mouth.
Since I don't have percentages filled in, will it even let me roll fitness?
Yes, click the button. It should be really high.
Syntax error expected.
Yeah.
What?
Because he doesn't have any numbers to work with. You're plugging no
It
numbers into
should
the
be.
equation.
It should be 90. If it's not, let's take a look here. Yeah, it's 60.
Thank you.
What are you? How are you clicking the wrong thing? It's okay. You see where helplessness is?
Ah,
See the big fitness button? Click that.
I do now. 54 versus 60.
Okay. Also, you can turn on 3D dice if you want them to actually roll on the table. Just saying.
Fair enough.
54 versus 60. Oh, you're gonna wake up. Except, what happens before you wake up? Go ahead and bring your camera up. Grim, you don't know if you're in a dream or this is reality. But if
Is he
you
caught in a
recall,
landslide?
no, if you recall, oh yeah, now I can't get out of my head. As you recall what Jonathan described to you about those victims, this is being done to you right now.
Where am I supposed to see this?
It's being done to you. You don't know if
Ah,
you're dreaming.
shit! What the fuck? What the hell's going on?
We
He's
kind
not
of like
awake
you to
yet.
explain. Oh shit. Fuck.
Fuck! Can somebody help, please?
Nobody's there to help you. As your body is being cut down the center and your bones sawed and cracked open and your eyes removed, as you can still see through those eyes as they are being removed and placed in your throat. And you feel the pain.
Ah!
As you're screaming inside of yourself, you realize that your body is not screaming. Do you look to see who's doing this to you?
Yes.
I need you to roll your dojo medal.
$87 versus $30.
Who's the person you trust the most?
At this point, probably Ewan, because he actually believed my story.
That's who's doing it to you.
So is it just my midsection being ripped open and cut to pieces?
At this point, yes.
Is there anything I could grab a hold of to swing to defend myself?
Yes.
I tried to bludgeon my attacker to knock him off me.
Roll your dojo medal again.
$83 versus $30.
Okay. Your obsession, I think, plays a role here. What is your obsession?
Metal music and the occult.
Mm-hmm. As you realize that this is a surgical ritual, and there is some kind of distant chanting being done. You think it's voices of people standing around you. They're kind of blurred, but you can flip those numbers. You do have a shift, which will give you a success. Or you can re-roll and chance to crit. Or get doubles.
No, I've been rolling absolute shite. Let's just shift those numbers.
Okay. In a fit of instinct, describe what it's like as you go to attack, but end up over-attacking.
Like as in hitting too hard or missing my opponent.
More like impaling them.
So I reach over, and of course, the only thing close to me is my boken. So I pick it up and I try to swing at them, but my arm's so close to the ground that I really can't get enough leverage to actually smack them. So then I draw back and I go to kind of push up on their center mass to try to get them off of me, but end up coming at too sharp of an angle and just jamming my boken through their solar plexus.
As you impale them and the blood pours out over your open chest cavity and covers you, they look you dead in the eyes with fear and paralyzation as their body splits open. And when their blood pours into yours, your chest cavity closes back and your eyes and darkness, basically, your eyes get sucked back into your throat and go back up somewhere magically in your head, and your eyes open. What you two see is as you're waking him up, the blood on the floor and on the sword begins to move and sink back into itself and into the wooden boken, and it is just a wooden sword sitting on the ground as he wakes up.
Hey, Ewan, did you just see that happen too, or is there seriously something in my coffee?
Nope, saw it. I mean, there was something in your coffee, but
Grim,
still
you're
saw it.
awake. It hurts. It hurts a lot, and you are wide the fuck awake.
So I come off the cot and I hit the ground from rolling off, and I push myself up and kind of roll back into a crouch with my boken up while holding my fucking chest because I'm in so much pain I can't see straight. And I just yell, "What the fuck?"
You okay, buddy?
Same question.
Oh, far
Same
from it. What
questions.
the fuck just happened? Did you not see that shit? Who the fuck was that over top of me?
Why is your boken
You're
bleeding?
looking at Ewan standing over top of you with his gun.
You fucking piece of shit. So then you decided that cutting me open wasn't good enough, and now you're going to pull your gun out?
What are you talking about?
Damaris
I
also has
slide
his
my
gun
gun
out.
back into the chamber.
Bro, your
Dude, why the
boken...
fuck do both of you have your guns out at me? What the fuck is going on?
There was a puddle of blood stemming from your goddamn boken, and it fucking sucked back up in there when you woke up.
So I've been lying here this entire time.
Yeah, you laid down like, what, 10 minutes ago? 15?
Yeah, if that.
And I was perfectly fine.
As far
Yeah,
as we knew.
we were gonna wake you up just in case, cause all the blood.
So my chest wasn't lying there open, and my eyes weren't pulled out from my skull and placed in my mouth while you were standing over top of me. None of that happened.
No.
Not as far as we saw. I mean, do you have any scars on your chest?
Man, fuck this. I need a cigarette. I grab the bottle of Johnny Walker Blue as I go out because I am hurting a lot.
Okay. He barges out of the room.
Well, all right then. I wonder if that boken's ever bled before.
That would be a good question to ask. Is
I
the
come
blood
back
still
in
on
like
the floor?
3 minutes later, by the way, going.
He comes back in 3 minutes later.
Too fucking cold to be smoking outside. Still gonna drink this.
Yeah, there's a fire escape. If you want to smoke in there, I do that sometimes. There's
That
no
would
alarms.
be amazing.
Wait,
I just kind of point to the left there. It's just like a metal enclosed cage we use to smoke, but it's like supposed to be a fire escape and like a. You know what I'm talking about? Like where you go to like you load up kegs in like an old
Yep.
cellar or whatever.
Yep.
Sorry,
Maybe that's
guys,
what I
didn't
still
mean to
don't have
freak
one of
out
those.
like that, but I haven't had a vivid nightmare like that in years.
Oh, you're completely fine. That sounds absolutely horrible, if I'm being honest.
yeah.
So did you happen to see there? You said it was Ewan?
Yeah, I think it's just where I was drinking all the whiskey and the fact that we've been talking about people getting carved up for a while. Must have had an effect when I passed out fucking drunk. I don't even remember actually going to lay down on the.
It's just weird that it's becoming as personal.
But, other than that, I know I passed out drunk. Why the hell were you guys in the room with your gun?
There was
Rare
a
sound.
puddle of blood on the ground, and your boken was covered in blood.
What the fuck? Did I hit my head?
I checked
No,
to
you
see any
you
injury.
yeah, you had no injuries whatsoever. It ever done anything weird like that before?
As what done weird? I don't see any blood, boys.
Yeah,
I look
whenever you
down
went
at the ground again. Is
No
there still
blood.
blood on the ground?
Not a drop.
yeah, whenever you woke up, it just started sucking back into your boken. That's the only reason we both have our guns out too, actually.
I start putting my gun back in its holster.
Yeah, I just
As
tuck
soon
mine
as
in my waistband.
we both have our guns out, I'm like, oh yeah, fuck, I do have my gun out.
So I know I went around the world with this, and I had some Japanese people bless it, but I can honestly say that, and let me get this right, my piece of wood was bleeding, then turned into a vampire and sucked all the blood back up.
I mean, minus the vampire part, yeah.
Didn't see any teeth or anything.
At this point, it's just par for the evening.
Yeah, did I
Maybe I should just go put the whiskey up. I pull a tin of cocaine out of my pocket.
Oh, wait a minute.
Okay. How much do you do?
Oh, we're just doing a nice, like, I'm going to say eighth of a gram line. Just cut out a nice little rail, nothing fat or anything else. Enough to wake me completely up and kill the fucking pain I got going on in my center mass area and in my jaw area, right?
You watch him start doing coke right in front of you.
I mean, alright.
It always makes me sigh a little bit, but I'm not a cop anymore, so I don't give a huge shit.
So you get a +10 shift for the next hour, and your pain goes away.
All right. At this point, damn, you're the expert on this shit. So I'm just gonna sit here while you do you. And if you have any questions, you have that crazy ass book you tend to read anyways when shit like this happens.
Yeah. I still gotta translate most of that, I ain't gonna lie.
Nigga, you have a MCSE degree and you work in a library. You can't use a scanner and Adobe to text along with Google Translate.
Oh, I would if it was a known language. And then I just kind of hand him the book, and I just flip to one of the parts I haven't translated yet. That's in
Fair
that weird
enough. So we're
script with
dealing with
weird
some
font.
Stargate shit.
Grim. Make a roll.
Hey, Helix, do you want to check
What am I rolling?
messages?
Where am I checking them?
Well, I sent you a personal message and I put one in the chat.
You need to send that to the GM chat.
Well, I did that too, though.
What am I rolling?
Doesn't show it.
That's why I was wondering if I was actually sending these things to the right GM chat. Because I have the unknown armies and the GM messages there, but that's where Boomer sent his stuff to.
I didn't see it either.
Well, I sent you a direct message too, though.
Oh wow. Yeah, I didn't see any of that. Oh, I gotta. You're gonna have to switch that back. Hang on.
Gonna have to switch it back. What?
All the cams were messed up. Hang on. Copy and paste all that and send it to me in Facebook.
Oh, I can't do that. Not comfortably. But all I was saying is that I need to jump off before long at all. Got class early.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah, it is past 11. Like a good bit now.
Almost past 12.
Yeah.
So before the night wraps up, I need you all to make some plans. As the crazy events calm down for the rest of the night, and you guys actually
That's
get
fine.
a chance
Was
to
I
sit
still
down and
supposed
talk.
to roll?
Oh shit. Yes. You are going to roll your Dojo metal. Let me know what you get.
You cut out roll what?
Roll your dojo metal and let me know what you get.
Ah, thank you. Dude, I think it's bugged. 84 versus 30.
And your you already used your helping those in need, correct? Yeah.
Yes.
Or and your middle. Would your rage or fear kick in? I think your fear would kick in.
My fear would most fucking definitely kick in on this situation.
Because it actually is related to what happened to you in Europe.
Fuck.
So you can re-roll. Only your obsession will let you flip-flop the roll. And you've already used it.
23 versus 30.
Wow.
So I passed.
Everything comes at a cost, my friend. Do you want to know what this says?
Yes.
Okay. Grim begins to read this book. Do you read it out loud or do you read it to yourself?
Do you remember what happened the last time someone read something from a book out loud?
Oh, it's cool, bro. It's Klaatu Verata. No, I read it to myself. We don't do incantation.
Okay.
There's a whole ass movie about why you don't do that.
Grim looks at this book and he says, I know what this says. And you're looking at him and his eyes start to bleed.
Is it bad? Because you got a little bit of something going on with your eyes.
Blood.
I'm high on coke. I don't feel it. We'll regret it later.
This actually protected your shock status, or this would have been a heavy fail for you. But this was a this is a pretty intense one. So this describes the particular page you're on describes several rituals. And I have those.
Camps are messed up again.
Fuck. It's okay. You only need to look at the page. Yeah, those rituals are very intense. And since you decide not to share, I'll tell you off screen.
Fair enough.
And that is the last paranormal event that happens for the night. But you guys need to give me at least 2 steps to your plan moving forward.
Plan on fully investigating. Looking, assuming there's no direct locations or anything
There are.
within the magic book, I guess.
Oh, in the book?
I do
No.
want to, yeah, I want to search the orphanage itself, which I've been wanting to go back to since those crimes happened while I was still on the force, and then I also to
I meant to
go
give you the name of
investigate. Yeah, he didn't, but that's fine. And then I would like to further, basically going from those, looking at all of the data that I can still get my hands on, and looking at the new murders that are still kind of happening and figure out what differences there are. Not the similarities because those are obvious, but I want to know exactly what differences there are.
between the 2 sets of murders.
Yes.
Okay. The orphanage is called the Herringer Orphanage.
Okay, I'll probably
It
add
is
that to my.
It is located outside of the Artemis Grove, which is the large patch of woods that surround the city. Woods and mountains and some marsh that surround almost the entirety of the city. The Herringer Orphanage was shut down in the late 40s. Because about 20 kids went missing, or there was something that happened, and it just became an empty house after that. It's a fairly big house, but that is where the 8 bodies were found.
Cough. Fifth laboratory.
Fifth laboratory. What?
That takes way
I'll
more
explain
than
later.
8 bodies.
Okay.
Full Metal Alchemist.
Yeah, takes way more than 8 bodies,
Oh,
and
I'm
none of them
not
would be
privy to
found.
that. Yeah, and there was one of the bodies of the original 5 was found not too far off in the woods of the Artemis Grove. So maybe a mile, maybe 2 from the orphanage.
I still have connections in the police department, right?
You have a few, and you would have to roll to see how those connections are doing over time.
Okay, well, I think I'm gonna save that though.
Okay.
Um,
There
'cause
is
I do
also
wanna
something I want to
investigate.
remind Ewan of. That thing you do every month happens in 3 days.
Sorry, you broke up right as you were starting that.
That thing you do every month happens in 3
Yeah.
days.
Okay. God, I hope we can figure something out before. All right, that's fine. For right now, that's fine.
Okay. So, do you communicate this to Damaris, correct? As well as
Oh,
Grim?
it's yeah, of course, where I want to go. What
Okay.
my next steps, I think, would be. Which,
What do you all say
as
to that?
a detective, I'll talk out loud most of the time when it comes to next steps. So,
Well, all right. If Grim here can read this fucking this text, though, I might have to borrow him for a day or 2.
would you be willing to wait a few?
Oh, we can do this concurrently, my man.
Okay. Because of
Because
what's
the more we find
happened
out about this
tonight.
skull, the more we're gonna find out about exactly what the hell is going on. In theory.
Well, because of what happened tonight, I don't think that we should scatter about or work on any bit of this without all of us together.
Bro, he can translate it while we're like in the car. Like, what are you
Yeah.
talking about?
No, you're right. It's just pointing that out.
I'm just saying that's my main step that I'm shooting for.
All right.
Okay. And we will pull away to another scene as the audience sees Jonathan hanging upside down. And he is tied to a rope. And small cuts appear on his skin, almost like the air is drawing on his flesh. And he's bleeding down, unconscious, and the blood is dripping onto a pile of books somewhere deeper in the library. And that's where we'll end tonight's session. Good job, guys.
We made it through the first one, boys.
Yay!
And we will pick this up next Tuesday and see where this leads. I hope everyone enjoyed it. And it's a crazy, crazy city. Welcome to the grind.